Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about in a video is this this lack of love, this lack of compassion for for our neighbor. That I'm seeing all over the United States right now, and probably all over the world. But since I'm an American, I'm speaking about American issues. And as a Catholic Christian in America, I'm speaking about specifically Catholic Christian issues in America. And one of the things that I've seen that I think is truly disturbing is this hate that's spreading like wildfire through the United States. And we see it in politics, we see it on social media every day. You open up the comments section on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and you see people who are just so spiteful, so hateful, and and you just don't know why. And just the smallest comment can set people off for no apparent reason. So it got me thinking, well, what can we do to fix this? What can we do to make this better? And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of Christians uh, who are falling into this same trap of hating. If you're a Democrat, you hate a Republican. If you're a Republican, you hate a Democrat. Um, and then it doesn't help when yesterday Donald Trump, uh, in a some kind of rally that he was having, said, and I kid you not, go and check this out for yourself. He said that I hate the Democrats. He claims that the Democrats hate him. So he said, well, you know what? I hate them too. Well, I don't I don't know that any Democrat has actually come out and said that they hate Donald Trump. I mean, and if they do, I disagree with that, because we shouldn't hate Donald Trump. We shouldn't hate any lawmaker, regardless of political party. What we should do is we should be, we should hate the things that they do. If somebody, for instance, the Republicans just took away health care, took away, SNAP and food stamps, and uh, just doing all of these things to hurt the poorest and the most vulnerable among us. And we can hate what they did. We can hate what they want to do. We can hate the fact that there is such a thing as alligator Alcatraz. But what we shouldn't do is we shouldn't hate the Republican Party. We shouldn't hate Republicans. We shouldn't hate Democrats, because at the end of the day, this hatred, this vitriol, this name calling is not going to help anyone. It's only going to make things worse. Was it just a week ago we saw uh, a lawmaker and her husband and their dog get killed, and other people were targets, and that's despicable. But it all stems from this hate, from this vitriol, from the people stirring these things up. And I truly hope that Donald Trump and other people in political power will dial back the rhetoric, because rhetoric can get people killed. And, I remember during the election, I heard people, people from the MAGA movement saying, oh, Kamala Harris is evil. I remember back when Obama was president, you know, um, Obama's the devil. And then I've heard people on the Democrat side saying, oh, Trump is evil, Trump is this, Trump is that. It's like, yeah, I disagree with him on the way he does things. And I also disagree with him personally. Like, I don't think he's a very good person. I don't think he's a good role model, and I definitely don't think he's a Christian. Um, but I guess what? I don't hate him, because hating people does absolutely nothing. And it just causes violence, and uh, that's what we don't need. And I'm speaking specifically to Christians, and even more specifically to Catholic Christians here, because we are called to follow Christ. We are called to see Christ in every person. And I don't understand why we're falling into this trap. I mean, have your difference of opinion, by all means. Having a difference of opinion is essential. Because if we don't have an exchange of ideas and of opinions, then then society isn't going to work. But keep it to the subjects. Don't attack people. Attack, if you want to attack something, attack ideas, not people. And I was reading my Bible the other day, and I came across Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 35 through 45, which I'm going to read. And well, actually, we're going to start with verse 34. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, come, O blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you? And the king will answer them, truly, I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. Then he will say to those at his left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick, and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they also will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister to you?" Then he will answer them, "Truly I say to you, as you did it not to one of the least of these, you did it not to me." And they will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. Think about that. Once again, this is from Matthew chapter 25, verses 34 through 46. Jesus says very clearly that when we do good to another human being, to one of his brethren, even the least of my brethren, you do it to me. And then he says that if you don't do it, you did it not to me. So when you see a homeless person, when you see, an immigrant, when you see some poor person, somebody who is the most vulnerable among you, instead of recoiling and treating somebody like they're less than human, like they're diseased, instead embrace them. Do something to benefit them. And if you can't financially help them, at least treat them with dignity and respect. Because everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Everyone. And it says here, and these are Jesus's words, by the way. This is what Jesus is saying. I'm not saying this. Matthew is not saying this. This is what Jesus is saying. So don't believe me. Don't believe anything else. Just open up your Bible. Go to Matthew. Go to Matthew chapter 25 and read this for yourself. Read Jesus' words. And you'll see that this is what it means to be a Christian. This is what we are called to do. This is how we are called to live. And anyone who doesn't follow this, and I get it, sometimes you're not going to be able to follow it. Sometimes you're gonna make a mistake. Sometimes you're gonna fall. It happens. But your goal should be to live according to this verse here, to what Jesus is saying. So if you have no intention of trying to live up to this, if you have no intention of trying to see Jesus in your fellow man, then I don't see how you can be called a Christian. And I'm not saying this to attack anyone. I'm saying this to make people think. Because these are questions, important questions that we need to ask ourselves. Do we truly live as Jesus called us to live? Do we want to live the way that Jesus wants us to live? Are we going to follow a false prosperity gospel like you see a lot of pastors pushing? Where Christianity is just, what makes you feel good? I mean, if that's what you want, then you're not following Jesus. Because let me tell you right now, the goal of Christianity is not to make yourself feel good. Sometimes you will feel good. Sometimes doing the right thing will make you feel good. But there will be other times that doing the right thing really will not make you feel good. And sometimes you can even be putting yourself at risk for doing what's right. So Christianity is not, I repeat, is not about making you feel good about yourself. It's about doing what is right. And that is the hard part. That's where faith becomes evident. That's where faith becomes clear. So all I ask is that you think about this. Put politics aside. Put hate aside. Hate against your neighbor, whether it be the person who lives next door, the family member who lives with you, or the undocumented immigrant who you've never met but for some reason harbors some mistrust or hatred against. Yeah, or a politician. If you are harboring hatred against a politician, let that go, because we are to see Jesus in each of these people. We are to treat them the same way that we would treat Christ. Are you going to be one of the people who was cursing Jesus while he was hanging on the cross? Are you going to be one of the people who was spitting on him? Or are you going to be Simon of Cyrene and help him carry the cross? Or are you going to be Veronica and wipe the spit and the blood off of his face? The choice is yours. So let's ask for the strength to do what is right. And I encourage everyone to pray, to ask themselves, to examine themselves honestly, and to determine what is true, what is right and just. And that's all I ask. Thank you, and God bless.